I don't understand that.
Me neither. Now let's talk about another national reporter. Peter King recently predicted that the 49ers will bench Trey Lance by week 7 and that Jimmy will be the starter for their third home game against Kansas City. What is
Okay.
your reaction?
Let me go slow on this because uh, I vaguely know Peter. I knew him when he was at Sports. He's not at Sports Illustrated anymore, right, Iggy?
No, he's not. He's at NBC.
Okay. He's a nice guy. He
Mhm.
used to sometimes be around the Niners because I think he has a child who lives in the Bay Area.
Oh,
Um, Having said that, he makes a prediction that Jimmy will be the quarterback after the 7th game.
mhm.
Based on what?
Yeah.
I mean, this is, I guess, a journalism thing. Iggy, you go to practice every single day.
Yeah.
How many practices was Peter King at?
One.
He was at one.
One.
How many practices approximately, including, OTAs and all that, were there?
Oh, uh, 26, 27,
So he sampled
30.
126th,
Yeah.
127th of the action.
Mhm.
In all honesty, if I had sampled that small a proportion, I would be very reluctant to make such a bold prediction. So, and I noticed there's a lot of others. I don't much watch this stuff, but I sometimes see it on YouTube. What the headlines are that Steve Smith and that Cowherd, they talk a lot about the Niners.
Yeah.
Iggy.
Yeah.
Have they been at any practices? Either of
No.
those, that Steve
No.
Smith guy or
No.
Stephen C. Smith or A. Smith or
No.
ABC Smith?
No.
Okay. No, so what so we you came up with a beautiful term for it this morning. I said before we went on the air, I said, where do they get their ideas from? And what did you say?
They just had an epiphany. They were sitting around in their living room drinking coffee, and it came to them, and as if God spoke it to them himself, herself, and that's why they're the best analysts in the world. Not because they do more work; it's just they have a direct line to God who tells them what it is. An
So we
epiphany.
now it's a new kind of journalism that I never practiced and Iggy doesn't practice called epiphany journalism. And
Yes.
there are these really famous epiphany journalists. And again, the ones I named are very good and they have tremendous followings and I respect them. But I wonder in this case, if you're not around the 49ers, I'm coming back to King. How do you even say that? Because here's the thing. I know more about the Niners than he does, and I don't even know that much, but I have no idea what's going to happen after 7 games.
Yeah.
My gut feeling tells me that Trey Lance is going to be a good enough quarterback, and this is his team.
Yeah.
For me to go and say he's out after 7 games, they haven't even played one game. Iggy, do you think he's out after 7 games?
No. And it's like he shouldn't be saying this at all. I don't think he's going to be out at all, barring injury. But to give an arbitrary number as well, 7 games. Why 7? Why not
Right.
6? It just makes it even more ridiculous.
And what it is, it's not a prediction, it's a proclamation.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
proclamation, like from on high, Zeus said. And again, Peter King, as far as I know, is a really good reporter. I don't know where he got this from. 7 games, then the guy's out. So many factors, like the offensive line, like how the defense plays.
Yeah.
I'm not bright enough to envision all of that over 7 games. I would say another thing that this is very interesting about, and that is Steve Smith and Cowherd and King. They're all talking about the Niners.
Yeah.
The Niners are a big topic, Iggy. That's
Yep.
what we're learning. That even people who really are not in a position to talk about them because they can get clicks or views or whatever. That the Niners are a very big topic in football right now.
Yes, they're as big as, Dallas or
Yeah.
it might not be the biggest topic, but not just the Niners. Trey Lance. Trey
Go ahead.
Lance, because everyone knows the Niners are a really, really good team. They almost won a Super Bowl with a mediocre quarterback in Jimmy. Everyone knows if Trey Lance is better than Jimmy, the Niners could win the Super Bowl this year. But no one knows what Trey's going to be. They've seen 2 games, some preseason. I mean, whoever Matt Eberflus, who's preparing for Trey Lance, probably has no freaking clue what the offense is going to look like.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it's not only that the Niners are a big topic. This kid is it's like the biggest news in football.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's what everyone's. So is Trey good? What's the offense going to look like? Is Trey good? Is he bad? Is he? Why don't we know? It's a huge mystery, and everyone's going to be talking about him all year. And if someone wants to say Trey's going to fail, everyone's like, well, why do you say that? What do you know? What do you know? I don't know anything. Do you like? Actually, I don't know anything. I just wanted to say
Peter
something.
King, God love him, is engaging in the biggest topic in football right now. And from my point of view, all power to Peter. I just think he maybe should have gone a little more to the practices. And I'll tell you something else. He may have talked to certain beat reporters. We have no idea. But Iggy, he didn't talk to you.
No.
And as far as mechanics go, Matty Mayoko really is keyed into that franchise, and he gets a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of mechanics, what Trey Lance does well and doesn't do well, you've actually put up videos.
Yeah.
You know more about his mechanics than anyone around that team who's not a coach. And Peter King probably should have called you.
I would think so. I mean, if he wanted to be more than an epiphany journalist, he could have called someone. I'm not hard to get in touch with.
No, I talk to you all the time. In fact, I'm going to have dinner with you tonight.
That's right. We're going to have a nice time.
We're going to have a nice time.
Anyway, there were a lot. I guess this really bothered me. I don't like to police other journalists, but when you start talking about the team that I cover and you don't even show up and you start talking like you know more, that bothers me. Because you have better epiphanies? You have people you can text? Well, okay. I actually saw it. People are telling you things. What do they know? What are their motivations? Why do you trust their word? Why don't you come and see for yourself if you're that curious? That's what bothers me a little bit.
It would bother me as well.
And even if you can't go, call me. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something else.
Yeah.
I said on my unfortunate tweet this morning where I got so many things wrong, they're going to play the Browns, that we weren't going to talk about Jimmy. But here's a very interesting thing about having re-signed Jimmy. Mm-hmm. Is that the Niners, I think, just went from a team that you'd think could make the playoffs to a team that can go all the way to the Super Bowl because if the kid gets hurt, they have a really good backup. They have another starting quarterback who's taken them to the Super Bowl.
He's won practically 70% of his starts.
Yeah.
So if Trey Lance misses a month or 2 or 3, the Niners can still get to the playoffs.
Yeah. So I think they, as a phenomenon, the Niners just became more dangerous in the league because of the 1-2 quarterbacks.
Absolutely. And again, everyone's focused on passing. It's all about passing. But a lot of teams have won Super Bowls running the ball, like the greatest team of all time, the 1972 Dolphins. I wasn't alive for that, but it intrigues me that that team is the only team that's ever been undefeated, and there are some parallels. Bob Greasy's the dad of Brian Greasy. But what I didn't know about that team is that Bob Greasy got hurt week 5, broke his ankle. And is it Earl Morrall?
It's so cute. Earl Morrall.
Okay, so he comes in and he is the quarterback the rest of the year, essentially keeps handing off to Larry Zonka and Mercury Morris and keeps the team afloat. Greasy comes back in the championship game. In the Super Bowl, he throws 11 passes, completes 8, they win. It's like, it can be done. This is the Niners formula. You could do it running the ball if you're the best running team. That 72 Dolphins team was one of the best running teams of all time. The team last year, the Niners, was not one of the best running teams of all time. If Trey can make the whole thing better, watch out.
Could I talk a little bit about the Dolphins?
Yes.
That was Don Shula was the great coach.
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing. You know how this a few weeks ago, the Niners had 2 practices with Minnesota, and then they played him a game? Mm-hmm. Well, during when Bill Walsh was the coach, they had the same arrangement one year with Miami. And it was 2 practices with the Dolphins and a game.
In Florida.
It may have been in London. Iggy, I didn't do my homework on this. It may have been in London.
Okay.
But I know a coach on the Niners team. So what they would have to do in the morning before they would have the dual practices was both coaching staffs would have to sit together to get a program. You know, we'll do one-on-one drills. We'll do this. We'll do that. So there wouldn't be chaos on the field. Right. So they have it orderly. Right. Shula would always take the seat at the head of the table. And Bill would, very politely sit on the side of the table like an assistant coach. And Shula would make up, we're going to do this, and in the second hour, we'll do this.
He was just, yeah.
He just didn't,
no conversation.
No conversation.
Yeah. No.
He actually was bossing Bill around. And from the coach, I heard it's like, it really pissed off Bill.
All because Shula had that one undefeated season. That sets him apart from everyone else.
Dominant personality. I don't know when this happened. Okay. I don't know when this happened, but he had a very dominant personality, and Bill did not like face-to-face confrontations. It was known. Ira knew it. I knew it. So Bill would sit there pissed. But then when they did meet in the Super Bowl at Stanford, the Niners kicked their ass.
I guess that's how he got back. What Shula did sounds like something Al Davis would have done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then there's a coda to that story. When Bill came back to Stanford, came back the second time, he must have said something that really aggravated Shula. Now, remember, they knew each other very well. And when Bill died, Shula came to the ceremony at Stanford. So Shula wrote a letter. That was before the internet. A letter to Bill, and it was scathing, and I think he used 4-letter words and all kind of stuff. And Bill, he was nervous, and I was up there all the time because I was writing a book about it. And they gave me a little tiny office space. So he came, his hands were shaking, and he said, "Look what Shula wrote. I'm so upset," all of that. So I said, "Bill, I think," he says, "I'm going to send him a case of Chardonnay." I said, "I don't think that's going to do it, Bill." I said, "I think you need to write him a letter.
Yeah.
And you need to, like a gentleman, apologize and say, maybe there was a misunderstanding. Let's get past this." And Bill looked at me and said, "Could you write it?"
Did you do it?
I did.
Oh, wow. You wrote a letter pretending to be Bill Walsh, addressed to Don Shula, and saved the friendship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bill read it. I mean, Bill read the letter.
He approved it.
I can't say I was pretending to be Bill. I was like his secretary,
You were his ghostwriter.
I was his ghostwriter. So he read it. He goes, "That's really good. That's really good, Lowell. I'll have so-and-so type it up and I'll send it out." So that really did happen, Iggy.
Don Shula died 2 years ago. Otherwise, I could have called him and told him. David Hasselhoff said Trey told Peter King to his face he doesn't care what he says. I think Peter King didn't like that. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. The show is sponsored by 49ersqcmerch.com. If you want this hat or ones like it, you can go to 49ersqcmerch.com, 10% off CPH1 promo code. Just wanted to throw that out there in case you didn't know.